This goes right to the point of democracy. We hear about democracy all the time because it's the will of the people. We hear that all the time. The difficulty with all of the people that came to the United States, they came to America, 13 colonies, in one form or fashion, they were all minorities to whatever degree. They were either persecuted, religiously, their religious freedom was taken care of. They were persecuted socioeconomically. So if they were of a certain race, they were, pushed down. If they were in a lower class, which of course in the monarchies and the feudal system in Europe, if you were born in that bottom class, you were almost never going to rise above it, ever. So you were kept there. The other thing is that, of course, in a monarchy, the king or queen, actually owns every single blade of grass, every piece of livestock, every cow, sheep, whatever. They own the productivity of every person that lives in there, and they own every productive output that is put out along the way. So on top of that, that was also a form of oppression that people could not get out of. The other thing is because let's just say, and this is an important point that we'll get to later, the fact is that imagine even those people that were our founders, that fought in the American Revolutionary War, but they actually came to America because they were oppressed for another reason, and they were ambitious. They wanted to make changes here and get into a position of power that they would never have been able to get into in Europe or wherever they came from. So we also had that coming into play. So we've got to look at those minorities, and we recognize, as I know everyone in this room knows, the minority is placed higher, according to our founders. The individual is more important than any group. Your individual rights have more weight than even a group around you. So therefore, they wanted to go ahead and build a system that would protect the individual rights and leave the group secondary. If you've got a majority in a democracy, the majority always wins. Now, would any of the founders have ever pushed for any form of government where the majority would always win? Never. Not once. It wouldn't matter which way they were. If they were ambitious or whatever else and somebody voted against them and they got a bigger group out there that says something that they don't agree with, then they're going to be voted down. So therefore, they did not want that form of government.